What's going on, guys? Jagira here, and today we're going to be doing a guide on the Lawbringer. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me if I could do a revised guide for the Lawbringer for Season 5, and obviously my last guide is way outdated, so now is the perfect time for an update. Now, if you're new to the game and you want to try Lawbringer, or you've had the game from the start and you never played him, this guide's probably going to be the best for you. And if you are a Lawbringer player and you're going to know absolutely everything that I mention, well, then I hope you enjoy the sound of my voice. Now, the Lawbringer is a knight hybrid hero who came out in Season 1. He has a lot of range, the most versatile weapon on the battlefield, and a crap ton of health. He is a walking bastion of law, justice and order, with powerful attacks and some crowd controlling abilities. This is what makes him probably one of the greatest heroes in the 4v4 game modes, such as Dominion, Tribute, Elimination, Skirmish and so on. Being able to set up an enemy for a large punish from your teammates. While he is by no stretch of the imagination the worst hero in duels, 1v1s, I do find that his kit is very lackluster, with you not really getting able to use all of your combos that are available to you, and if you're against someone who knows what they are doing, then you're going to find yourself at a disadvantage very, very quickly. Now let us look at the hero specifics for Lawbringer. His top heavy attacks will stun an opponent. This basically means they will not be able to see your guard, but with a well trained eye they will be able to see the direction your attacks are coming from, so keep that in mind. His shove attack will initiate his chain. This means that his shove will replace the first part of the combo. For example, his judge, jury and executioner combo is a light attack, then a heavy attack, followed by another heavy attack. If you land a shove on a target, you don't have to do that light attack. You just follow it up with two heavy attacks to get the full combo. Talking about combos, let's look at his moveset. Now, the Lawbringer has 4 combos, with the Judge, Jury and Executioner being the one with the unblockable finisher, which you may have been on the receiving end of at some point in time. Now, I will be honest here, out of the 4 combos, I will only use 2 of them. And that is the Judge, Jury and Executioner, as having that unblockable is very good threat. It will force someone to react, and also has a lot of cleave potential when you're doing the combo, with side attacks. And in a team fight situation, I will mainly be using the Swift Justice finisher, which is a heavy, followed by a light, followed by a confirmed top heavy. Confirmed means that the attack has to hit the target. It can't be blocked or dodged, etc, etc. And then you follow it up with a light, and it's basically an instant light, and it does a shit ton of damage. And you can do all of this while switching targets, which will allow you to get that confirmed heavier much easier. But it's probably best to be doing this when you have revenge for the uninterruptible stance. As I said, I do not really use these other chains because they are easy to block and even parry. They do not give hyper armor, and you can't really trade effectively when you don't have hyper armor. As we go down the move list, we'll have a look at Impaling Charge and Impaling Riposte. Now, Impaling Charge, you have to be unlocked sprinting at a target, press the heavy attack. This will cause you to impale the target and carry them a set distance. Holding down the heavy attack button will increase the distance you travel. This move does use a lot of stamina, and it is easy to block. So if you're facing a target, you're going to get blocked and you're going to basically lose all your stamina. Try doing this move when you're in a 4v4 situation and ganking someone from behind. Just impale them from behind and carry them a distance, into a wall, off a ledge. If you do get them into a wall, this will allow you to get a confirmed top heavy on them. A little warning, if they do parry this, you will find yourself completely out of stamina. Okay, so the golden rule of this skill is to never ever use it facing a target, because it will be blocked. Maybe a pro will even deflect it. So remember, the golden rule, impale your targets from behind. Now on to Impaling Riposte. This is basically the same as Impaling Charge, apart from you've got to be in your guard stance, you parry an attack, you move the button, your cursor to the side, left or right, do a heavy attack, and then you'll just carry them a set distance. Basically the parried version of the Impaling Charge. Now, you can only really get this impale when you do a light parry. Okay? So you parry someone's light, you move your guard to the left or to the right, you hit the heavy mouse button, or heavy attack, you impale the target, and you'll carry them a set distance. I have sometimes been able to do this when I've heavy parried someone. I don't know if there is because it's so inconsistent. I could probably put this down to lag, but if you guys want this to be confirmed, always go for a light attack. On a side note, talking about light attacks, we're going to be talking about the Blind Justice. On to Blind Justice, or Ad Mortem in Micus, however you want to call it. This is the Lawbringer's signature move. Basically, once you parry a light attack, have your guard stance in the top, press your heavy attack button, and you will be making your opponent piss and shit themselves as you bring down the law onto their face. It is the most beautiful move in the game, totally not biased. But did you know it doesn't really need to even be a light attack you can parry? You can pull off a Blind Justice on someone from when they do a heavy attack, though it's not confirmed. So for example, what we'll say here is you will therefore parry an Orochi's heavy attack. You will do an Ad Mortem in Micus, but you can feint it. You can cancel this. The Orochi may therefore do a side attack, and as they're spinning, you can parry that incoming side attack. And Orochi's side attack does, or side dodge attack I should say, sorry, counts as a light attack. You parry that, you therefore got a confirmed light parry, you therefore get a confirmed Blind Justice, you therefore are wrecking weebs. It is a beautiful thing to do. The mind games that you can do with this skill is absolutely beautiful. Now I used Orochi as an example there of, you know, being able to feint it, but you know, say you want to do it on Aramusha just to really bully the weebs. You feint it, the Aramusha dodges left or right, guard break. You've got a confirmed guard break, you therefore got a confirmed side heavy. You know, things like this. So you don't always need to do this with a heavy attack. Well, light attack, sorry. Another thing while we're talking about light attacks, we did mention earlier Impaling Riposte. Now, as we know, Impaling Riposte gets confirmed off a light attack as well. So the question I'm going to have, well, I'm going to guess a lot of you are going to be asking is, Jagira, what one would you say do I go for? Blind Justice or Impaling Riposte? This is a very situational thing. For example, if you're in an open area, I would go for Blind Justice, right? Because you will smack them in the face, you can press guard break, you can shove them straight afterwards and go into a little bit of a mix-up combo. If you're in a crowded area, I would recommend doing the Impaling Charge, Impaling Riposte. You impale them, knock them into a wall, do a top heavy, that will also give you a shove afterwards to go into your mix-up, but does slightly more damage. And especially in a sort of duel environment, all of that damage does add up eventually. So remember guys, if you're in an open area, Blind Justice. If you're in loads of corridors, or you see a wall close to you, or a ledge that you can impale someone off, go for the Impaling Riposte. But we're now going to be talking about the Lawbringer's other parried move. I just realised I said parried move. What I actually mean is the attack you get off parrying an opponent. And the one we're going to be talking about just now is the light riposte. Okay, so after you parry your opponent, doesn't matter if it's a heavy attack or a light attack, you press your light attack button, you do about 20 damage and you stun the target. This is considered a light attack. So you can go into your chains. So for example, the Judge, Jury, Executioner is light, heavy, heavy. Light riposte, the first part counts as a light. So you can go heavy, heavy straight afterwards and get that combo rolling. Now, I'll be honest, before Season 5, this was a pretty much overlooked skill. You would parry a target and go for a guard break. But since Season 5, not being able to get a guard break after you parry has made this skill much more important. It's a very good way of closing distance against ranged characters such as Nobushi and Kensei, because you want to be in their faces, right? And also, there's another skill that was overlooked. And I'll be honest with you, I never used this until Season 5, and that is Make Way. And I bet a lot of you are wondering what the hell is Make Way. Well, Make Way, right, is the Lawbringer's zone attack after a parry. Now, you can do this on a heavy attack or a light attack. You parry, you do a zone, you do more damage than you would just doing a normal zone anyway. It does take, I'd say, probably a little bit less stamina than just throwing out a zone anyway, but you get the benefit of that if you do it on a heavy attack or a light attack, it won't get blocked or parried. It does also give you uninterruptible stance, so in a team fight situation, it is also very nice. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be asking right now, which one would you use? Would you use a light riposte or would you use Make Way? This really comes down to your preference. I would say if you're against someone who you know is not going to be blocking or panics quite a bit, Light Riposte is going to be good because you can go into your combos and really shit someone up. But Make Way is confirmed. It is confirmed more damage. Yes, you can't go into a combo, but after a while, I think the difference between Make Way and Light Riposte is like 5 damage. That 5 damage is going to add up over time. Okay? Another little fact I'm just going to put into here is that Make Way will obviously be costing more stamina than Light Riposte. So you don't want to keep using it in quick succession because you are going to drain yourself out of stamina incredibly quickly. So maybe even just mix it up. First attack, go for, first parry, go for a Light Riposte. Second parry, go for a Make Way. Then go back to a Light Riposte, go into some combos, things like that. Keep your opponent guessing. But yeah, before the Season 5 changes, no one was using Make Way. Now, when I do play Lawbringer in 1v1, or even in teamfight situations, I use Make Way a lot more often. So yes, guys, remember, Make Way exists. We've mentioned shove quite a bit so far, and now we're going to really be diving into the meat and bones of this skill. You get 3 different types of shove. Shove from neutral, shove from block, and shove mix up. Okay? Shove from neutral, very risky, wouldn't recommend doing it at all. Basically what you do is, on the keyboard at least, W, A or D with spacebar at the same time, and you immediately press the guard break button afterwards. This is just, like I said, very risky. It is very hard to land, it can be sidestepped. While you can't be guard broken after a failed shove, if you're against someone with a side attack, like Berserker, when they do that dodge side attack, or Orochi, Peacekeeper, Kensei, yeah, you get the gist. You're going to get punished. Conk with his shield bash, Warden with his shoulder bash, and Raider with his stunning tap, etc, etc, etc. I'd never recommend doing this in a 1v1. If you want to do this in a 4v4, it's very good to get a target off someone. Okay? But be warned, because in a 4v4 situation, that's going to give them a lot of revenge gain. Now, shove from block or shove alternate is when you block an attack and you press the guard break button afterwards, your target is shoved away. This shove is confirmed. And if you're with a hero, or so if you're against a hero I should say, who has very fast attacks, or he's chaining his attacks together, Centurion with his heavy spring to mind, or Peacekeeper, I would recommend blocking the first attack and then shoving on the second attack. You do get an uninterruptible stance when you do this shove, but you will take the damage. So doing it this way is the best way to avoid taking unnecessary damage. And finally, shove mix up. This one is simple. You land a heavy, you get a shove. Now the heavy must connect, so you can go heavy shove, and as long as these heavies are connecting the target, you will keep getting this shove over and over and over again. Now, with the shove, you can normally follow it with a light attack or a heavy attack or even a guard break. And as we mentioned earlier, your shove initiates your chains. Yet be warned, that light after your shove you may feel is confirmed, in fact it is not. Assassins can deflect it, Kensei and Val can conk with their superior blocks, can punish you with it. All they've got to do is just dodge at the same area which you're going to be following your light with, and then you're going to get golloped. Golloped? Walloped. I mean walloped. So yeah, I'd be very, very careful. You want to try and spook them a little bit, then I would recommend, instead of doing a light, do a heavy. Because they are going to preemptively dodge to try and get that deflect or that superior block, and then they get hit with a heavy. Yeah? Or they may not want to do any of that, and they may just naturally dodge. In that case, you grab a guard break from them. Or you shove, and then they go for a spinning attack, like the Orochi's side dodge attack. You can then parry that, go into a blind justice, go into another shove, and so on and so forth. So with the Lawbringer, you've got to really be ready to read the situation and then react appropriately. Okay? Throwing out random attacks or just doing random things is going to punish you a lot more than you're going to punish your opponent. To finish up with his moves, we're going to be talking about Long Arm of the Law. With this, or on the PC at least, you press S on the keyboard followed by the guard break button. If it connects, you will flip your target over your back, it drains their stamina, and grants you a free side heavy attack, which, you've guessed it, you can shove on straight afterwards. So very nice. Now, in 1v1, you're never going to land this. It is so easy to dodge. Okay? But what will happen is in a 4v4 setting, you can do this out of sight of your target, do it from behind, flip them over your back, and this is therefore the perfect setup for your teammates to capitalise on. This CC is only second to Shigoki's Oni Embrace, okay, in the form of setting up potential teamfight damage situations. So yeah, good example I'm just going to take off the top of my head. You do long arm of the Law, they're going over your back, your Raider goes into the stunning tap into the zone, does a shit ton of damage, okay? Now, the good thing is, you are not going to be took out of your animation while you're flipping the target over your back. You have therefore set up a lot of damage for your Raider, and potentially the target would probably be dead by now. So yes guys, when you do long arm of the Law, make sure, alright, that it's out of sight of a target. If you do want to do it in 1v1, and I really don't know why you'd want to do it in 1v1, but just say you want to do it for whatever reason, if the opponent dodges it, you will get guard broken. Okay? So that is a very good warning. Same in 4v4, but it's a little bit less risky as such, because you're going to mainly be doing this in a gank situation to break a turtle to set up the potential damage. And finally, I'd like to mention some out of stamina punishes for the Lawbringer. Now, if your target has no stamina and you do get a guard break, then you throw them forward, then you do a top heavy immediately, followed by a side heavy in whatever direction you want. Now, if the target is already out of stamina and you parry their attacks, do not do a light riposte or a make way or anything like that, okay? Because as you parry their attack, even if it was a heavy out of stamina attack, because they're out of stamina and you parry their attack, they're going to fall to the ground. This grants you a blind justice, okay? Because you have therefore parried their attack when they was out of stamina, alright? So never, ever, ever do a lights riposte after you've parried someone when they're out of stamina, because they will not fall down to the floor and you therefore lose on a lot of damage. I would probably say people to go for the blind justice version more than the first one I mentioned of just doing the top heavy followed by the side heavy. This is because due to the Season 5 parry changes, it is basically impossible to get that guard break. I mean, you can look for it, you can do it as they're trying to dodge, you can catch them as they're dodging, but to, you know, parry them to go into a guard break, yeah, nah, it's just not going to work. So your best form of punish in Season 5 now, I'm personally saying, people may disagree, is that once you parry someone as they're falling down, go for the blind justice to capitalise on that. And so guys, this has been my Season 5 guide for the Lawbringer. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new from it. If you feel I missed something out, please feel free to leave that in the comments down below. And with that being said, I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do leave a like, that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel and you love the content, why not hit that subscribe button to become absolutely awesome. Guys, I also stream on Twitch. You will find that link in the description box down below. And I also have a Discord, feel free to join. We've got great laughs, we have great memes. You will find that link in the description box down below as well. Now, I have been Jagira. All of you have been absolutely amazing for watching. And I'll see you all next time. Take care and bye bye.